Right, what's your name, boss?
Dom.
What?
Dom.
Dom. Okay, what do you do? What's that short for?
Dominic.
Correct. What do you do?
Social work.
What? Those two words do not belong in the same sentence. Where are you going? Work? Oh, what? Socially? No, bullshit. What do you have to do in social work? Name a typical day. No, don't name a typical Tuesday. You know what I mean.
Help people.
You have the weirdest way of answering questions. This is like, if you ever go through like customs, what's in the bag? There is a book on how to speak. I've not slept with a woman. No, read it. I was going to say, I just read it. Oh, look at that. I took that away. So there we go. Well, thank you, Dom, for letting us know that you wrote your social work and saying no. That was really good of you.
You're right. Hello. Yeah. I'll go straight in. I'm single. Woo! Anybody else single? Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the dating scene again. Ooh, the dating scene. Just before I came here, I dated a guy who I like to call Sexy Jesus. And my friend was a bit like, do you call him Sexy Jesus because he brought you back to life? And I was like, well, no. I called him Sexy Jesus because he's sexy, he has a beard, and he's a skating instructor. He was great. Yeah, he took me out, wined and dined me at Wagamama's, which you don't have in Southampton, it's a shame. Cheap date, that is. Unlike, well, yeah, cheap date. Yeah, it was really good until he took me back to his house. Strange thing, he has a sex swing in the middle of his lounge. In the middle of the lounge, not on the side, not just put away on the side. In the middle of the lounge. Yeah, I tell my mum everything, which is a little bit strange. We're more like sisters. Yeah, I told her about the sex swing in the middle of the lounge, and she was a bit like, well, how was it placed? Was it just thrown on something? And I was like, well, no, it was kind of just screwed in to the ceiling, like right in. Like, it really was screwed in. And she was like, well, at least you know he owns the property. That is a catch. But I'm just thinking, when does it become, well, it is a problem, but when does it become more of a problem? Is it always just going to be the elephant in the room of the relationship? When you fall in love with someone, things start to kind of, you know, like, you don't really mind about them. Like, I dated someone who had kind of a mullet, but I fell in love with him, so it was a bit like, oh, it doesn't matter, the mullet disappears. Would the sex swing disappear? When you bring your baby home for the first time, would it just be like, oh, where are you going to put it? Where are you going to, oh, there. So funny, which is good because I'm a comedian, was that my mum said, well, as long as you're safe. I was like, yeah, of course we're being safe, it has stirrups. I can't get out the fucking thing. I'm going home for Christmas, I live in Brighton. Is everyone going home for Christmas? All the students, are you all a bit excited? I'm excited. Last Christmas, though, was a bit of a weird one, because I've got two little brothers, one's 10 and one's 13. Oh, he's a big lad. Yeah, but he still believed in Santa. Which is a little bit awkward, so my mum was a bit like, oh, I'm going to have to tell him. I'm going to have to tell him this year, and it's going to be a bit awkward, but we have to tell him because he goes to quite a chavvy school where they're all a bit like, fucking kick it! Fucking kick it. Just love saying it one more time. Fucking kick it. So she was a bit like Maximilian, that's his name. Oh, how unfortunate. Maximilian, you know Santa's not real. Santa's not real. And he was a bit like, oh no, really? And she got a bit into it. She's a bit like, yeah, the Easter Bunny's not real. And he was like, oh no, it's awful. Tooth Fairy's not real. Oh, that's terrible. And Ollie's only your half-sister. It was the 80s. He's a taxi driver. I didn't even know his name. Oh, sorry, Max.
This guy, yeah.
Cheers. I know you're thinking, Welsh boy in a suit jacket? Yeah, I'm in court tomorrow. Give me chief in holes. Hey! Anybody in chantry? Hey! That's everybody. Is anybody fed up with the noise? Everybody is fed up with the noise. People at 10 to 4 in the morning playing tag, hopscotch. It's ridiculous. Nobody considers me. I love a game of hopscotch. They don't ask me, do they? It's absolutely ridiculous, the things that go on. It's just, it's a sign in the common room. Don't suffer in silence. I'm not. I'm suffering in noise. Absolutely ridiculous. Do you remember Bebo? Remember Bebo coming home from school after English of reading of Mice and Men? Remember that? Of Mice and Men? Poor Lenny. Yeah, Bebo, remember that? You could add another half, and he was aiming for kids under 17. Right? You could add another half. Nobody was married, so for 2 years everybody thought I was gay. Bebo, you could share the love with anybody. I've got more views than you. You could have a quiz about yourself. You could design your own quiz. I only had 45% on myself. Weird, isn't it? Weird, isn't it? School is great, man, wasn't it? School is the best place. That's where you found yourself. Do you remember people used to pass chewing gum? Like some rebel would have chewing gum, wouldn't they? They'd have like, Melanie, Wrigley's extra, have you got some? Yeah, under the table job. Remember it? All that? Somebody had a wank over it. Ridiculous, and you have no flavour Wrigley's. 3 chews and you'd be going to the bin because the teacher would catch you out. Then you'd swing on your chair, wouldn't you? Remember that? People swing on a chair, teachers used to go, Michael, 2 years ago, pupil smashed his head open. Well, did he pass English? Yeah, that's not the point, is it? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And of course, people used to put chewing gum under the table. So when I was swinging back, I'd be like that. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, that's the catchphrase. Now, every gig I do is the word ridiculous, because life is ridiculous. I'm not a dirty comedian, right? But I was thinking, do you know the blowjob? I think it's the best thing a boy can ever have, because it's only 5 minutes when a woman shuts up. Yeah. I went to Tesco's about 3 months ago with my mother. And if you go with your mother shopping, it's different when you go with your dad, obviously, because they're 2 different people. But if you go with your mother, they park in the disabled spot and they go, let's walk with a limp. And if you go with your dad, he parks it like 2 miles away and he goes, oh, I'm not getting the car scratched. And then you go from the car to the trolley depot and then halfway through you go, have I got a pound? Have I got a pound? Just to double check. You get your trolley and everything and you get in and you see some weird people, don't you? Your trolley's becoming half full and somebody comes in the corner and go, what are you doing here? Well, I'm shopping. You wouldn't ask me the same question if I was in the cinema with a box of popcorn, would you? What are you doing here? Well, I'm watching a film. You do things that would incorporate anyway. Yeah, and then of course you think of things and you go, do we need dog food? Well, we haven't got a dog, have we? So we don't need it. You forget the list. It's just ridiculous. And I was in Tesco's and I saw a woman. She was looking for a big turkey. She was looking, probably for Christmas she was looking for a big turkey, and she clocks this guy who didn't look the sharpest knife in the drawer, and she went, do these turkeys get any bigger? And he went, no, they're dead. Yeah, I want to leave you with a bit of advice. Now this story is a gospel true story which happened to me last New Year's Eve. I know everybody's going to go home and they're going to get drunk and, you're going to get off your tits. I don't get that saying, off your tits. You're not going to leave your nipples on the floor, yeah, last New Year's Eve I went to a house party. It was 3 girls, 7 boys. I'd been single for 9 months. One of the girls was already taken. One girl was fat, so I wasn't touching that. So I thought I'll go for option 3. It was like blind date, but I was there. And they could see. So I thought, I'll have a few Budweisers and just go for it. You know, tongue job. You know the one that you could knock teeth, one of them. So I go for her, we kiss, and I pull away and I go, no hard feelings, love. And she, you know, nothing happened. We all went to bed, not like all together. We woke up the next morning and we were talking, me and this girl. And I said, oh, what are you going to do now today? Obviously it's New Year's Day. And she went, I'm going to see my grandfather. I said, all right. I said, my brain just went, ask her her grandfather's name, just to make conversation. I said, oh, what's your grandfather's name? She went, oh, Billy. I said, oh, Billy what? She went, Billy Osborne. I thought, hang on, I've heard that name. I said, has he got a cousin called Brenda Lewis? And she went, yeah, how do you know? I said, oh, look, we're cousins. Now, bear in mind, I just kissed her, and see, I didn't know this, and I was 18 at the time. So, of course, yeah, that's just a sudden guilt. So people were winding me up all day. So I went home with this story in my head. And of course you have to tell your mother everything, because you can't lie to your mother, because your mother will catch you out, won't she? Like my nostrils go from lying, they widen. And I said, Mum, I got something to tell you. She went, what? What's the matter, love? I said, I kissed my cousin Lauren. She went, well, it was a good job it wasn't a boy then. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Good night.
Okay, have an excellent Christmas. We'll see you in February back here. I've been Shannon. Thank you, good night. See you later.